Making sure we are live here. Double check my camera. Apologize for moving around. Yep, looks good. All right. Live here. Double check my camera. Apologize for moving around. Yep, looks good. All right. How is everybody this evening? Yeah, I got a little crapsy code that I just put in the comments. We're gonna give this a try tonight and see if I can't get this to work. We tried it, I think it was last week. It turned out to be a mess. I think I've got it figured out, so we'll give it a try and kind of go from there. But anyhow, how is everybody this evening here on a Tuesday night? Welcome into KC Craps. My name is Bob, and we've got a big weekend coming up this weekend as a lot of the crew that I've been playing live fantasy craps with over the past couple of weeks on other channels are actually coming into Kansas City this weekend. And so we're going to get together and play craps. I know we're going to be playing at Harrah's. There was talk about Ameristar, possibly Bally's, maybe one or two other locations. But to kind of prepare for this weekend, why not play some craps here on a Tuesday night before the big weekend and we go play? So we're going to go crapless tonight just because it's been a while since I've done some crapless. This is my starting bankroll that I'll be coming in with this weekend. It's $1,000 and see if we can't have some fun with it. So good luck in your local play. Thanks, Skill. Greatly appreciate that. So Arnell, who is from Illinois, will be joining us. I know there was talk about a gentleman from Arkansas, possibly Iowa, Oklahoma, Texas, and of course here Missouri and Kansas. We're kind of in the representation of everybody that was going to be coming down. I don't know specifically everyone that will be coming, but we're going to have some fun. And so I figured since we're prepping, let's play some crapless. $1,000. We're not going to go all in firsthand. You know, I'm trying to do better about starting off with better hands as far as, you know, being a little more responsible when we're playing. So I'm going to just start off with a little 66 on the inside, get a feel for it, and see if we can't move into bigger and better things as we play. So here is my 66. That was for the change. There's my whites. We'll go 15 on the pass. You know what? Nope. I'm going to make it even better. I'm going to go 75 on the pass sign. There we go. Can't take the degenerate out of the gambler. So we're going to work to come out. I've got $75 there. We're not going to do the ATS just yet. I'd like to get a little warmed up before we play. And so the code for Crapsy was the first comment on this video. So if you'd like to jump in, you're more than welcome to do so. All right, so I've got my dice here. I'm getting them ready for the come out. So I'm going to say I'm ready and see if I can't toss this out. There we go. Okay, cool. Here we go. Our come out roll is a 6-5. Yo. So that's our first roll. Looks like I got Crapsy working. Yay. That is the point, because remember, we're playing crapless, so we don't get the bonus on the 11, which is no big deal. All right. And I do actually have my second phone with me. So if you guys do comments, I'll be able to go back and see what you guys are writing and be able to chat with you guys a little bit more reliably than when we have before. All right, here comes our next roll. I've got my money on the table. Here is our first toss. We get aces right out the gate. I can't argue with that. It doesn't help us just because we don't have any money on there. We're aiming for some inside numbers. But nonetheless, aces are definitely welcomed. Hey, Stefan, how are you, my man? Hey, so if you want to join us in Crapsy, look at the first comment in this video. I've got the code. We're playing on Crapsy tonight. I figure I'd put in my rolls, and we'll go from there. So welcome in. Thanks for joining us here this evening. We're going to do our next roll. I'm going with a 3-5-3-1. It will target threes and 11s, but it also goes for sixes and eights. So that's what we're going with tonight. Here's our next toss. We have, oh, that was a great looking throw. 6-3, that's a neener. All right, so that's going to pay me $21. I'm going to kick them $1. You all know the drill. We'll go from 66 up to 88 on the inside. And there we have it. Grab our dice. I'll get the roll put in. It was a 6-3. Is this real or fake money? Well, tonight it's fake. Yeah, so we'll be playing on our meetup this weekend. It will be real money. But tonight we're pretending like we're coming in with 1,000. We're going like we do on the weekends or this weekend, and yeah, see if we can't get some things going in the right direction. We got our first hit, which was a what was that? Oh yeah, it was a 9. Here comes our next toss. Dice are out. We get 6-4. That's a 10. Big Ben down on the end. Doesn't hurt us, doesn't help us, but we'll take it nonetheless. Helps on the ATS, right? Yeah, on the Crapsy app, it's free. It's always free money on the Crapsy app. If you pay for subscription, I think it's like $5 a month, but you don't even have to pay to play. All right. It was an easy 10. Bang. All right. Here comes, I'll give you guys a second just to kind of jump in. 6-2. Oh, no, I'm not going 6-2. I'm going 3-5-3-1. That's my dice set right now. Okay. Here comes our next roll. We get, ooh, nice throw. 6-3 neener. All right, that's going to pay us $28. We'll just take this up to 110. You collect 6 off of that. All the whites and all but 2 of the reds get taken down. And that, boys and girls, gives us 110 on the inside. And we rack 6. I will try to set it up for the next time. Thanks. Have to put the kids in bed soon. No worries, Stefan. Just if you want to get it downloaded, you can get it on the Google Market and also on the App Store for iPhones. I think you can set up an account. It's free, all free. So yeah, we'll have it next week as well. All right, here comes our next roll. Dice are a-moving. All right, so sticking with that 3-5-3-1. That last roll was, oh yeah, it was a 6-3. I got to make sure to put those in. Submit. All right, I'll give you guys just a second to get your bets in if you are playing on the Crapsy app. Here comes our next roll. We get that's boxcars. Holy cow. Wow, that was nice. So we'll mark that. So yeah, all we need is the 8 for the tolls. That's pretty nice. We're going to stay with the 3-5-3-1 on our dice set. Remember, I'm aiming for inside numbers, so I want to aim for the 6s and 8s here. Here comes our next toss. It's a 5-1-6. Okay, we didn't have that one yet. That's going to pay us $35. I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave it. Let's move our dice. I'll make sure to mark it in Crapsy. That was a 5-1-6. Boop. Easy 6. Okay, I'll give you guys a second. So hopefully you guys are having a good night tonight. Like I said, just getting ready for our trip here in Kansas City this weekend. I know that I'm trying to talk Skill and Luck to come over to the west side of the state instead of being stuck in St. Louis. Hopefully he can come. If he can't, it's not a big deal. We understand things are busy this time of year. All right, here comes our next roll. Dice are out. We would like an inside number, please. We good? There's a 5, 6. Yo! Awesome. That's the point. We'll get paid $75 for that. We're going to turn our puck off. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop my pass line down to a quarter. So I'm taking 1 1/4 off of the table after that hit. Puck is off. We're going to leave our bets here. Let's play. Okay. And I've got my dice are out. So let's do the next throw. Here we go. On the come out. There is a hard 8. That's the talls. If you're playing at home and you bumped some money up on the ATS, we just hit the talls. That's nice. So let's mark that point. Now we need a 3, 4, 5. So we're going to move our dice set to a 3, 5, or excuse me, I'm going with a 5, 6, 5, 4 for my dice set for 4s and 10s. Here comes our next throw. That's a 6, 5, yo. Doesn't hurt us. We're okay with that. I'm going to try this 5, 6, 5, 4, 4 and 10 dice set. If it doesn't work out for us, we will switch to the other one. All right. Got my dice. Getting them set. Give you guys a second to make your bets. And let's go with dice out. Here comes our next toss. We get a hard 4. That was pretty. Oh, yeah, I don't have any money on it. So you know what? I'm going to go ahead and drop a quarter on the 4 and a quarter on the 10 because I've already hit both of them, so I know I'm good for it. Let's see if we can't make money. I'm going to stay away from the hard ways right at this moment unless I start pounding one. Then we'll add to it. And that was, yeah. Here comes our next toss. We have a hard 10. That's a big bend down on the end. We will take it. We'll drop them a $1 VIG. We'll get paid $50. I'm going to rack that because that'll help compensate the 4 and 10 that I put down there. So yeah, that just allows me to recoup that cost. Okay, so that investment's already paid off. And let's see here. There's that one. We're moving to a 3, 5, 1, 5 now. Dice are out. Here comes our next toss. We get a 5, 2. Cinco dos adios. All right. Hey, we're out. Let's see what we've racked. There's 150, 65. So we were $25 less where we needed to be. So yeah, 165. So yeah, we were only $10 away. You know, that's not bad. That's a nice little warm up just to get a feel how the table is doing. Let me mark that on the tracker here real quick. Cinco dos adios. Bonk. And that was a 13 roller to start. So, I mean, I can't argue with that. It was a nice even keel type of start. All right, so now we've kind of got our juices flowing. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go with the Wise Guys progression. And if you have not seen that, you can be sure to check it out on my channel. I did a full tutorial on this. How it looks is you put 45 on the 5 and 9. You'll put 54 on the 6 and 8. And then there's my change. Here's $200. Put that there. Put this in my rack. And we'll go with a quarter on the pass line. We are not working this on the come out, FYI. Not working it. All right, I got my dice. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go 5, 10, 5 on the ATS tracker. 5, 10 on the all, 5 on the small. We're set to go there. Reset my tracker. Got my dice ready. All right. Yep. I got 2 2s right there. So dice are out. Here we go. Good luck, everybody. Our come out roll. We get a hard 6 to start. That is a great start. So let's mark that 6. Boop, right there. And I'll mark the 6 on my ATS tracker. Got my dice. Well, let's have at it. Dice are out. We're going with the 3, 5, 3, 1. Here's our toss. Oh, good throw. Hard 8. That was pretty awesome. So 8 is our number. We get paid $63. I'm going to drop them 3. I'll grab one of the stacks of white. That'll give us 2 5s. Take your whites, split them apart, put them on the 2 stacks of red, put them right to the middle, put the greens, and then the reds. So now we have 60 on the 5 and 9, 72 on the 6 and 8. Now we go to our next throw. I've done the movement with the money on this for enough times now that when doing this, it's a lot easier to maneuver it around, get it all set up, and get off the table as quick as possible. So I might introduce that this weekend to a couple of the casinos, just depending on how busy it is, if we've got a private table or not. But here we go. All right, dice are out. Let's see if we can't make some money. Here comes our next toss. Oh, that was good. Hard 4. Pretty. Slide those down. We don't have anything on our 4, so we just stay patient, stay disciplined. What up, WWC? Hey, if you want to join us, we're on Crapsy. I did mark the code at the beginning of the chat for this video. Hopefully you're doing fantastic, staying warm. Weather's been kind of deviating here, up and down, up and down. All right, I got my dice are out. We're sticking with that 3, 5, 3, 1. I want another inside hit so I can come down. Here's our next toss. A hard 4 right back. All right, I'm going to throw a nickel on a hard 4. We're just going to leave it at a nickel. That's the only one I'm going to push. That's back-to-back hard 4s. And I know we saw one on the previous throw as well. 3, 5, 3, 1. I'm going to continue hunting for 6s and 8s. Dice are out. Here comes our next toss. Oh, that looked pretty. 3, 1, 4. Okay, well, I lose the $5. I should have just left it alone. I'm going to leave that alone. If you are going into a casino or even a home game or whatever it is, and you have your strategy that you have decided to go with, please don't deviate from it unless you see the table changing to like a hot table, a cold table, a don't table, a pass table. Those types of changes you'll make. But here, I'm not going to add any more money because I don't want to risk overexposing my hand and taking a chance to lose more. Here's our next toss. We get. That is a 6-3 Neener from Pasadena. 639. All right, so that is going to pay us $84, 75, 80, and 4. Now I'm actually going to come down to 110 right here. I'm not even going to play with it. Tempt fate. There's my 110. put 2 more quarters on the outside to make it 160, and that's where I will stop. So let me see how much I'm taking off of the table, and then how much we banked so that we know if we're ahead, behind, whatnot. So there is 125, 50, 175, 180, 185. So we're still into the hand a little bit. If I wouldn't have put this $50 here, we would be completely out. But I want to go ahead and cover my 4 through 10. That's the gamble that I'm willing to make just to keep my hand going. Because I've hit enough 4s and 10s now that it's like, yeah, we want to go ahead and do that. Bob is going to train the dealers. Yes, that was a wise guy's crack. Nice. I like that kind of play on punny sentences, phrases, and words. That's fantastic. Yeah, it's the wise guy strategy. Yeah. All right, here we go. Changing our dice set. We're going back to a 5, 6, 5, 4. Oh, I need to put that roll in. I don't even remember what it was. What was that last roll? Can anybody tell me? I moved my dice. I think it was it was a 3, 6, 9. That's right. There we go. All right, got my dice. We're going to a 5, 6, 5, 4. We're hunting 4s and 10s. Here we go. Come on. 5, 4, 1, 5. That was nice. All right, let me mark that. 4, 1, 5. Pretty. All right, so that's going to pay me $35. I'm going to put a quarter, rack 10, move forward. I'm not going to go half presses just yet. My rack is still kind of healthy, and I'm comfortable with where I'm at, so I'll just go with this. Dice are moving now, so I'm getting ready to close it. We're sticking with our 5, 6, 5, 4. All right, here we go. Next toss. There is a 6, 2 easy 8. That again pays us 35. I'm just going to kick it up to 60. I'll rack the 5, move our dice. Let me mark the table or mark it on the game. I got to remember to mark this before I go and move all my dice and stuff. That way it gives you guys a little bit longer to be able to add your bets and whatnot. I'll take a sip of my drink while I'll give you a second. Hopefully everybody is having a good Tuesday evening. I got a really good video coming out tomorrow. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. I did one of those investigative type videos, and this one's actually going to be on hard ways, so I'm pretty excited about it. All right, dice are moving. Here we go. Dice out. For our next toss, we have... That's a hard 10, a 5, 5. Big Ben down on the end. We'll give them $1. They're going to pay us 50. I'm going to put a quarter on the 10, rack the other quarter. Just small presses, still making money, still making pressures, getting that excitement. We've got our 10 marked. We're 2 away from the talls. Okay, here we go. Next roll. And here we go. Next toss we get. That's a 2, 4, easy 6. Nice. That's the point. So we'll get a quarter down there. This is going to pay us 35. Now, because I know I am well and truly out of the hand, I'm just going to go ahead and take this from 30. Going to use the quarter that I got from the winnings on the pass line. I'm just going to take it all the way up to 90. That's where I ultimately want to get it. I want to get the insides to pay at the $100 level, fueling the outsides, building things up nice and easy. Okay, dice are out. Here we go. We're moving back to our 6, 2, 6, 2. Just for the come out. Here's our next toss. That's boxcars. We could not have asked for that at a better time, because now we just need to go. That is the point. Now I'm going to change my dice set back to a 3-5-3-1, and here's why. Because I often throw 3s and 11s with this dice set, and you know what? Just because I have the confidence, I'm going to go ahead and stick a quarter on the yo and a quarter on the 3. Here is our next throw. We have a 4-1-5. We're staying alive. Let me mark that. 4-1-5. Submit. Bang. We get paid $70 on this because we had 50. Now I'm going to just take it up to 75 and I'll rack the rest of it. Simple. No major pressures, small pressures, still racking money. We're looking pretty. All right, dice are moving. Here we go, folks. We've got a 3-5-3-1 dice set. We would like a 3 or a yo. Here's our next toss. That's a 2-4-6 is the roll. Grab these dice. We already had the 6 on the tracker. So here's our first big hit. We get $105. I'm going to just collect. No press with this. It's our first black chip on the 6, so I'm going to rack that. That was pretty. Okay, next toss. Dice are out. Sticking with that 3-5-3-1. If we throw this good on this weekend, we're going to be doing really nice. Next toss. A 3-5 easy 8 is the roll. We already had the 8, but we've got $60 on that. That's going to pay us 70. I'm just going to take it up to 90 and rack the rest of it. Again, that's the level I want to be at on the inside numbers where they pay me $100 a roll. We'll take our dice and slide them down. Dice are a-moving. Give you guys one more second, and here we go. Dice out. That's a hard 8, a 4-4. That was pretty. Okay, so that's our first big payment on the 8. That's 105. Again, this is the first big collection on the 8, so we're just going to rack that. And we'll move on forward. Now that I've got those two up, I'm going to start. The 5 is already at 75, so I need $50 more on the 9. That's at the 75. The 10's already there, and everything else will be pretty much there with just a quarter. So now that we're in a good position, let's get the dice moving. Here is our next throw. We're sticking with that 3-5-3-1. Here's our toss. That's a 1-2-3. Okay, we needed that. Let me mark that on Crapsy. That's going to take me a little bit to get used to doing that as well. So bear with me. All right, so a 1-2-3. We drop them $1. We get paid 75. So now I'm going to just take 50 of that, put it on the 9, and rack the quarter. I'm just fueling inside so that I can turn around and fuel the outside. Does that make sense? Does anybody else do something like that? No pressure. Keep relaxed when you're at the casino. Don't get nervous. Just flow with it. Yep, I agree. Absolutely. So I fueled the inside with an outside hit so that I can take the inside hits and fuel the outside. Kind of crazy, but we're going to go with it. Next roll. Dice are out. We get a hard 6. In the mix. That's going to pay us 105. Now, I'm going to tell them to pay me in quarters. So because this is our second hit on the 8 now. My 5 and 9 are set. My 4 and 10, my 10 has 50, so I'm going to match that. And then I'm just going to stick a quarter on the 2 and 12, rack the 30, and now we're in a really good position. Slide our dice down. That hard 6 was pretty too. Oh, I forgot to mark it on Crapsy. I apologize. You guys aren't yelling at me. All right, getting the dice set. I'll give you guys a moment. Take a little sip here. Bob is going to train. Yeah, I really hope that when I work with the dealers on this Wise Guys progression, that they'll be able to pick it up pretty simple. I mean, they mess with the money so much that I'm sure they've seen a lot of crazy bets and have to figure it out on the fly. I'll work with them and see if we can't make it happen. I'm kind of excited about it. I'll also be interested to hear if anybody else has done this yet out at the casino. All right, dice are out. Here we go. Next toss, we have... That's a 2-4, easy 6. Mark Crapsy, then go collect. There we go. 2-4, easy 6. $105. There's 105. Now I'm going to put a quarter on the 4 and the 10, and I'm going to rack 55 of it. I'm just doing a little pressure, and I'll continue moving on. So now that I have my 4 and 10, oh no, those are at 75. So on the next inside hit, I'll move those up to 100. Just a quarter each. No major pressures. Still racked a little bit, so I mean, it's not like we're losing money at the moment. We are doing well. All right, I'm moving the dice. Guys, get your bets ready if you're ready. All right, looks like you're ready. Dice out. A 6-2, easy 8. Don't be late. All right, so that's going to pay us another 105. Let me grab some more green here. There is 105. Now I'll just take it, like I said, I'm going to bump up the 4 and 10 to 100 each, and I'll rack the 55. Looking pretty. Oh, I forgot the dice. Kind of need those. All right, now I'm gonna hunt some 4s and 10s. We've gotten it built up. We might as well now get the payoff. Dice are out. Next roll. That's a 5-1-6 in the mix. No 4 or 10 that roll, but it still gives us $105. So put those up there. 6 is 105. Now I'm going to take a quarter, put it on the 3, put it on the yo, rack the 55. Still getting a little money on the table. Getting that adrenaline. Whew. Can you tell how many are playing in Crapsy? I sure the heck can. I've got currently 2 people. Waylon is playing along with myself. That's how many we got. We got 2 currently. All right, dice are out. I'm going with the 3-5-1-5. Here's our next toss. That's a 1-2-3. How about that? We got $50 on that bad boy. We'll drop them $2. That'll pay us $150. That's a nice hit. We're not going to raise with it. We're going to bank it. That was a nice enough hit that we'll just leave it as such. Still need the 2 and the yo. Next toss. I'm not going to go hunting the 2, but I am going to hunt for the 4s and 10s. And if we happen to hit anything else while we're doing it, why the heck not? Fantastic. Next throw, we get... That's a 2-4-6 inside number. That pays us $105. I'm going to take a quarter, put it on the yo, put it on the 3, rack the 55. Simple, simple, simple game. Little pressures, little racks, wins to big money. All right, our dice are out. Going with I'm gonna try to hunt the inside the yo again. So I'm going with the 3-5, 3-1, next toss. That's a 3-1-4. Not what we were after, but I will take it with $100. Drop them a nickel. They pay us 200. Yes, boys and girls, you rack that. Goes right there. Let me grab some more red here for the table. And grab our dice. That was a nice, nice hit. Still looking for a yo and a 2. Oh. Okay. We got the dice moving. Dice are out. Here's our next throw. That's boxcars. Ding, 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 ding. Oh, that's the point. All right. That's a quarter. We drop them $1 here. Puck will go off. That right there is going to pay us $250. Let's see. It's 6-1 with the one a vig. Yeah. 250 cuz no. That's not right. That's going to pay us 150. 4 and 6. Yep. Whew. I got real excited. I was like, 250, yay. No, 150. Plus I get a quarter here. So I'm going to rack the 125. I'm going to add a quarter to my 2 and 12. More than likely, I'll never see them hit again, but I would feel kind of bad if I didn't put a little bit of pressure on them. I'm okay with leaving them right there and not touching them anymore. I probably should have put it on the 3 and the yo, but whatever. No odds. Only because of the simple fact that we are still early on. This is only our second roll. And again, I don't want to overexpose my odds just yet. I usually wait till I'm about the 4th or 5th roll in before I personally will start playing pass line odds, unless there's one exception. If my point is a 4 or a 10, that's when I will add, even if it's on my very first roll. All right, dice are out. We're going back to the 6-2, 6-2. Our next throw, we have. That's a 2-2 hard 4. Choo-choo. All right, that's just going to mark our point. Now, I do have a 4. I got 25. Now, since we're coming to Kansas City, a lot of our casinos allow up to 10 times pass line odds, regardless of the number. So, that's what I'm going to do. I mean, if you're going to play the odds and you're comfortable with it, you should always play max odds on your pass line odds. So there's going to be no beating around the bush. I'm immediately going for 4s and 10s because I don't want to be dancing around it. We're going to get the dice moving here. Our point currently is a 4. I'm just waiting for whoever is ready to go. All right, I don't see anything. All right. Okay, there we go. Dice are out. Here is our next roll. That's a 5-3 easy 8. That pays us 105. 105. Now, again, I'll take quarters. I'm just add a little pressure to the 3 and the yo. Those are now both at 100. And now I'm going to stop. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Use the inside to fuel the outside to get the big hits. Well, most can't afford that max odds. What odds do you prefer? I prefer, and I'll be honest with you, I prefer a 10 times odds. And this is why. Because if I have, say, a 10 as my point, most casinos, they go 3, 4, 5. 3 times the odds on the 4 and 10, 4 on the 5 and 9, 5 on the 6 and 8. But if I want to go more than 3 on the 10 with my pass line odds, I can't unless I increase my pass line itself. So being able to have that 10 times pass line odds on a 4 and 10 is fantastic because I like to try to aim for those as much as possible. And if I'm early on in the roll and I don't have the bankroll to go the full 250 on a $25 pass line, I can now say $15 on it, and I can go up to 150, and I can also go less, which allows me to put more on there than just the $45 with a $15 pass line. I can go up to say 50 or 75 if I'm comfortable with it. So that's what I prefer. It allows me the flexibility to go up higher if I want to, so on and so forth. I will tell you there is one casino that will allow you to increase your pass line as you are shooting. So if I wanted to add another quarter on my pass line, they'll allow it. And then you can add more to your pass line odds. I just think that's nuts. Once you've got it set, leave it set. All right, next toss. Here we go. Dice are out. We are aiming for 4s and 10s. Our next toss we get. There's a 6-3 Neener from Pasadena. All right, so I've got 75 on it. That's going to pay me 105. So now that I'm going to add quarters to my 5 and 9, rack the 55. May as well at this point. I'll start pushing up those insides because we are hammering them, which is nice, but we don't want to miss out on the opportunity to raise them up just a little bit with each roll and move forward from there. Get my dice set. We're moving our dice, Waylon. Whenever you are ready, I am ready, sir. And I'll cross. And dice are out. Next throw. That is a 3-2-5. Staying alive. Oh, yeah. 2-3-5. And we just pressed that, didn't we? So now we've got $100 on it. Go ahead and refresh those. Oops, wrong one. We hit the 5, so that pays us 140. And yes, with that big hit, I'm just going to collect it. I'm not going to use anything to press with it. On that first hit of whatever denomination that you want to target, always collect. And then, since I moved it up, I'll collect it again, just to allow that little extra collection. Okay, dice are a-moving. We're sticking with our 5, 6, 5, 4 dice set for 4s and 10s. Dice are out. Next toss. That's a 6-2 easy 8. Don't be late, just be great. That'll pay us 105. All right, so I'll go 105. I'm just going to raise this up to 120. I'll rack the 85 or the 75 off of it, and we'll continue forward. Just little pressures, just quarter pressures. Nothing extravagant. All right, we are looking good. We would like to see a yo or a 2. So I'm going to go with a 3-5-3-1, trying to hunt down that yo. Dice are out. Next toss. Ah, there it is. Big Red said, hello, I'm here for the party. That's okay. We made a killing on that roll. Let's see here. That was, how many rolls was that? That was a 30 count. Nice. Yes, we do lose the money that's on the table. But you know what? I really can't be upset with how that roll performed for us. So let me get this pulled off. And in case anybody is curious, we had 55, 100, 200, 300, 400, 6, 8, 10, 1,200 on the table. We have in our rack 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 500. There's 1,000. There's 1,100. 1,200. 25, 50, 75, 85. Yeah. Yeah. So we did better than what we lost on the table. And remember, we started off with $198 for this roll. 198. And that's where we finished. Essentially, that's what we started with. This is all profit. I can't tell you enough, guys. When you start getting into Profitsville, it's the greatest feeling in the world. All pass line bets should at any casino let you add more to any pass line bet. I've never heard of a casino that would not allow that. No. What I'm saying, Skill, is once the point is set and I'm rolling, so I roll a 6, I roll a 9, I can then add more to my pass line right then. I don't wait till the next roller. Doubled my bankroll. Gotta go. Thanks, brother, for the rollout. Crapsy was good to me. Awesome, Waylon. Hey, thanks for joining us here. Have a fantastic night, sir. So, yeah, let me sell these full stacks back. So there's 500, and then we got a stack of red. That's 100. So we are sitting pretty. Our first blue $500 chip on the night. We like it. Finish cleaning this up. Oh, it went out of focus, but you guys can see it. All right, so there's 2 quarters, and we'll keep the rest. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, 2 rolls in, we did a, what was that, a 13 count, and then followed up by a 30 count. You can't necessarily complain about that. This would be about the time that I would walk away from the table just for a few minutes and be like, woo, that was a great roll. Go get a drink. Use the facilities, just get away from the table for a few minutes because you don't want to be on that high going into the next roller. And this is one of those wise pieces of advice. Great shooting, time to color up. Yeah, exactly. The greatest piece of advice that I can give anybody is control your emotions. And if you feel yourself getting too high or too low, that's the time to walk off the table. Now, obviously, if you're in the middle of a roll and you're starting to feel that, just take a deep breath, finish out the roll, and then walk off the table. There's no sense in going apeshit crazy and getting all your money up as fast as possible just to 7 out. Could I have been more aggressive on that roll? Hell yes, I could have. I could have been close to table max had I been super aggressive, but I wasn't. I stayed disciplined, made a nice improvement on my rack, and now I can pretty much do whatever I want on this next roll, which is exactly what I'm going to do. So we did the 66, we did the Wise Guys progression. Now we're going to go with 75, a number, and it actually be 90 on the 6 and 8. We're going 330 across is what we're going to do here. This is a strategy that I've been kind of playing with and working on, seeing if it's viable for me to do in the casino. I was aggressive, but I always was covered in case the 7 showed up. Yeah, no, absolutely. But I mean, I had enough of a bankroll. I started off with 1,000, and yeah, so we're doing pretty fantastic. But no, as I was saying, this is something that I've been kind of playing with and toying to take to the casino. And so we might as well start it off tonight. The main question is, are you content with what you won? Absolutely. That is a fantastic question, Skill. I am content with what I won. I had a nice hit on that. And so now that affords me to be more aggressive later in the rolls once I've warmed up. All right, so I've got 330 across, 50 on the pass line. We are not working. Here is our come out roll. We get. That's a 314. That is a pretty number to hit to start with. All right, so the point is 4. Again, I'm not going to go full odds. I'm just going to go half of the full odds. Mark that 4 on the ATS tracker. And here we go. Dice are out. And our next toss, we get. That's a 314 right back. Oh, buddy. And I had 250. So that's 500 on the backside, 50 on the front side. And yes, boys and girls, I was aiming for 4s and 10s that hand. Oh, that was a nice buckshot hit. I will take that every flipping time. All right, we'll turn the point off. Oh, that felt fantastic. All right, moving on to our next come out roll. Woo! We have. That's a 1, 2, 3. We'll mark that point. Mark it on the tracker. We did not play this round, by the way. Now watch us hit the all. That's usually how it goes. Yes, I love me some 4s and 10s, Waylon. We're going to now aim for insides, 3s or 6s and 8s. That's a 3, 5, 3, 1 V set, 3 V set up on the top. Dice are out. Here we go. That is a 6-2 easy 8. Let me mark it. 6-2 easy 8. And that is actually really good because that's one of the 2 numbers that we were aiming for. The 8. Now this is going to pay us 105. I'm just going to leave it. I'm going to collect the 105. We are now well out of the hand that I can just leave it. I'm not upset. Next toss, we're staying with the inside hit. 3, 5, 3, 1. Here is our next toss. That is a Cinco Dos Adios. All right. So we lose out on that. But you know what? So this is 330. That's 380. That's 500 that we earned on one roll. Here's 800, 900, and $5. I'm very, very, very okay with how that turned out. So I'm just going to put everything back. I'll pay the 380. There's my 300. There is 330. And here's the 50. Okay, cool. We're set up for our next roll. It's still nice. Now we've got 2 blue chips. It's fantastic. If you're going to keep rolling. Yes. Yeah. I wish I was still rolling, but woo, that was that. Yeah, that nailing that 4 was pretty fantastic. All right, our puck is off. Here comes our next toss. Dice are out. We're going on a 6-2, 6-2. We get that's boxcars, boys and girls. I like seeing that. Midnight train to Texas is what I've been told. Mark the point. Now let's play. Now we're going to aim for those inside numbers. I'm not going to aim for the 12. I'd like to get some repeaters going, see if we can't build it up and get our money back. Next toss we get. That's a 5, 4, 9. That was pretty. Let me mark that on Crabsy. 5, 4, 9. That is going to pay us 105. I'm just going to collect it. And we'll push forward. Remember, I've got 330 plus 50 on the pass line for this roll. You know what? I might just stick like a quarter on the pass line odds just to have it there because we've seen crazier things happen when you're playing craps. All right, dice are out. Here we go. Next toss we get. That's a 4-1-5, staying alive. Johnny 5 is alive. All right, so that's a 5. That's going to pay us again just 105. We'll take it, rack it. This is the boring part, but it's the necessary part. Now that I've had 2 hits at the 330, I'm going to regress down to 220, and I'll show you why. So there's another $100 coming off the table, another 110. I'm sorry, 110 coming off the table. So now that's 220, 320. We are almost completely off. I've got, oh no, actually we are off because I've got 220 plus 50, so that's 270. We're now in the casino's money. Pass line and extreme numbers are the best bets in crapless table. 6 combinations to roll a come out 7 and 6 combinations to roll an extreme number. Then you have a 40% chance to hit the point. Absolutely. That is absolutely correct, Waylon. It is crazy on the combinations, but what's even crazier is how few times you see those extremes actually hit. There are better rolls than others, obviously, but yeah. It is a crazy thing to think about. All right, here we go. Looking for our next hit. We get, that is a 2-4 easy 6. That's an inside number. That's what we were looking for. So that is going to pay us $70. I'm going to take a quarter, put it on the 4, take a quarter, put it on the 10, collect the 20. We're now in this small press to expand out and see if we can't get some bets up and fuel each other. Next, yeah, let me get this set. Dice are out. Staying on the 3-5-3-1. Next roll. That's a 6-3 Neener from Pasadena. That 50 is going to pay us 70. Now I'm going to go ahead and take the 10 and 4. Those are up to 50 each. Rack the 20. So that's nice and simple. Now that I got $50 on the 4 and 50 on the 10, I'm going to start aiming for those. So I'm going to go with a 5-6-5-4. I would like to get some 4s and 10s to build up, please. Our next roll. Give you guys a moment. Dice are out. That's a 6-3-9. It's not a 4 or a 10, but hey, that'll do just fine. $70. Thank you very much. Quarter on the 3 and the yo. Collect the 20. Yes, I know I put the majority of it on the table, and now I'm starting to get to a position where I can start doing those minimal raises. Okay, we are staying with that 5-6-5-4. Dice are out. And here comes our next toss. That's a 1-2-3. That's an extreme. We like extremes. That's a quarter. We'll drop them $1. Pays us 75. I'll put a quarter on the 3. Rack the 50. Easy peasy. Just a simple little increase. Nothing extravagant. And like I said, I could be a hell of a lot more aggressive, but still early on. It's early days. Yes, I know I have 2 blue chips that takes care of my entire buy-in, but I still want to be a bit conservative. I don't want to get caught with a whole bunch of money on the table. Not until I've built up a little more. All right, dice are out. Going with a 5-6-5-4. We're staying with that dice set. Here's our next throw. That's a 2-3-5. Staying alive. That's going to pay us $70. Now I'm going to take a quarter, put it on the 5, rack the rest of it. So I'll rack 45 of the 70 that I just hit. Not bad. We're good. Small little increases, keeping the pressure on while the dice are hitting. All right, dice have moved, and they are now out. Looking for our next throw. Give you guys just a second. And here we go. Next toss, we get. That is a 1-2-3 again. Look at that. This time we have $50 on it. All right, so let's drop $5. That's going to give us $3 back. That is going to pay us 150. And yes, you can bet your sweet peaches. Put another quarter on it, racking 1 1/4. Woo! That was pretty. Just for raising a quarter. Just a quarter. And we went from getting 75 to 150. Now we've got 75 on it. If we can hit it again, it'll be pretty fantastic. All right, so we're looking now. I think I'm going to stay with the 3531 for those inside numbers because yos and threes do come out in this dice set. I've got the dice moving here currently. Let me tell you what I got here on the table real quick. I got 75 on the 3, 50 on the 4, 75, 60, 60, 50, 50, and a quarter on the yo plus a $50 on the pass line. Nothing on the 2 and 12 currently. Dice are out. Here comes our next throw. We good? That's a 415. Staying alive inside. We've got 75 on that. That's going to pay us 105. Add a quarter, rack 80. I mean, it's as simple as that. Nice, simple progression. Stay disciplined when you're at the craps table. The longer you can stay disciplined, the more you can make because you won't be losing as much. Okay, here we go. We just increased our 5. It's now at 100. Dice are out. Here comes our next throw. Wow, that was a funny bounce, but you know what? That's a hard 4. Whoop, whoop. I'll take that. All right, so we've got $50 on it. I'm going to drop them. Oh, that 3 that I put over here was for my change. All right, so I've got $2 more for a VIG. That is going to pay us $100. I'll swap it, put 50 in the rack. Super simple. So now we've got 75, 100. That's 100. 60, 60, 50, 50, 25. And then, of course, 50 on the pass line. Dice are a moving. We got 3, 5, 3, 1 is our dice set. If it ain't broke, we ain't fixing it. Here we go. Next roll. We get there it is, a 617. That's the end of that roll. It was a fun roll. Let's see how much we made. It is always interesting to me how much I have on the table versus how much I lose or how much I win. There's 200, 3, 4, 5, 50, 590. There is 300 that in our rack. 4, 5, 6 1/4. That's 7 1/4. $726 is what we put on there. We started off with 330, got a couple hits, brought it down to 220, and we just took off from there. So another really nice roll. Let's sell this stack of red back for 100. Tell you what, I mean, it's small wins, but they add up to big wins at the end of the night. As long as you're playing, like I said, play disciplined, stick to your plan, watch, check your emotions, because if you feel you're getting high or low, too high or too low, step away from the table and really just go out there, enjoy yourself, have fun. Quickly, I want to talk about our video for tomorrow morning. We're talking about the hard ways. Are they a good bet? Are they a bad bet? Is this something you should do? Is it something you shouldn't? I was actually pleasantly surprised with the results of that video. We went 10 shooters. I'm not going to go too much into it. You guys can watch it tomorrow. I really hope you enjoy it. Looking for your comments on that. It's been a fantastic night. You know, we only went 3 rolls in an hour because that last roll was a 12 roll. Now remember, I had a 13 roll, a 30 roll, a PSO, and a 12 roll. If you're doing that, if you have that 4 combinations at the casino and you do not leave a winner, you're doing something wrong when you're playing craps. Anyhow, guys, hey, thank you very much for joining me. Keep your eyes open for the video tomorrow. I got another one coming out Friday. We have a meet and greet this Saturday and Sunday here in Kansas City. If you are not a member of my Discord channel, now is the time you want to get in on that because I'll be making an official announcement on there as to when and where we will start our day. And it looks like we may be starting in the morning. So if you're not an early riser, yeah, you didn't have my mini hardways hits tonight. No, I had a couple. The hard 4 we pounded a couple times. We did get a couple hard 8s and I think 1 hard 10. But yeah, you're right. There wasn't many hardway hits here tonight. But yeah, if you're not a member of my Discord channel, please get signed up now. It's free to jump in. I'm really trying to build up a community over there and make all my future announcements. People who are on my Discord have already seen the thumbnail for my video tomorrow. So I like to release a little pre-release information on it and just to keep you guys enticed and thanking you as members of my community. So in the meantime, we're going to check out for tonight. It's been a blast. Thank you guys. We will see you live right here next Tuesday. And keep your eyes peeled on my Discord as we start to get our first meet and greet, and I am super excited. Guys, we will see you next week. Thanks.